Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new here, hi if you're not. My name's Danielle. I make content here on YouTube where I talk about what's going on in the coaching industry. Today we have a probably pretty short reaction video where I'm going to be going through some of the content that was submitted to my Google form. If you come across coaching content anywhere on the internet that you want me to have a look at, the form to submit it is linked down below. Big shout out before we get started to all of my channel members. Particularly, I want to say thank you to the channel VIPs as well as the billionaire tier and all of my paid channel members, subscribers, everyone who watches my content. I appreciate you all so much. If you enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can share your thoughts in the comments down below. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. The first one that we're gonna look at addresses a common theme that I talk about a lot here on this channel, and it's this idea of needing to invest a ton of money in a mentor to be successful, the concept of going into debt in order to afford coaching programs, and the often encouraged behavior of spending well beyond your means in order to get access to a mentor and be in their energy, as they like to say. So let's go ahead and read. The first slide says, last weekend I coached myself through an investment that made me want to poop my pants. Here's what happened. So obviously this is the first slide. We're not even really into it. And I'm already going to point out the fact that this is something that we see a lot in the industry, having to work up and convince yourself that while this person might be asking you for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and you're thinking like,
oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Basically, when you're in the industry long enough, you are in a position where you start to see these investments as normal, which can be a really dangerous place to be. And actually, I'm gonna link a video here that I did. It was an interview from a number of months ago with a woman who accumulated over $100,000 in debt from paying for and participating in various coaching programs under the impression that she needed to keep investing in order for her business to be successful. So all that aside, let's continue. During my first trimester funk, or days as I like to refer to it, I lost all motivation for anything, including my business. I had taken a step back from mentorship and focused my energy on me getting through whatever the flipping flip that whole time period was, which also led to a lot of guilt and shame around not being all in on my business. But I worked through that, acknowledged that this was only a temporary season of life. Okay, so this is interesting because she's alluding to another common narrative that I've seen very often in the coaching industry, and it's this idea that if you aren't investing in mentorship, then you're not really taking your business seriously, and the only way that you can be successful is to continuously have a mentor. And I actually did a video about this topic during the 12 days of Coachmas, which if you're new here, during Christmas, I did a 12-day period where I posted a video every day for 12 days. I'm gonna link that specific video in the cards right here because it speaks to this idea of always needing to have a mentor, always needing to be investing in coaching, and how problematic and quite frankly inaccurate that is when it comes to actually building a business. Last week, I felt the nudge to join a mastermind, did a bit of research, and immediately messaged for more info. That part was easy. Then the info was sent and I said I wanted to talk it over with and think on what's best for our newly evolving family. That could be a whole other post, but this was the first time I ever really consulted with him about an investment because, you know, a baby coming and all makes it a little bit different. Okay, so this is also particularly interesting to me because I'm assuming is her husband. And the reason why this is interesting, because something that comes up time and time again in my interviews and even in my own experience working with coaches is people are often ashamed to talk with their partner about these investments because to anyone who's not in the coaching industry, they don't really make sense. They seem a little bit ridiculous. And so it's just a little bit funny to me that she's saying like,
I've never consulted him in the past, but now that we have a baby, like I should probably tell him my secrets.
Again, just my interpretation. We talked it over and decided that we could 110% make it work and that this would be a really good decision for me and my business to have support while my whole life changes literally. But for some reason, I couldn't pull the trigger. I was avoiding it to the point that asked me,
so did you join yet?
And in that moment, I knew that I was the only person holding myself back. Okay, not saying that this story isn't true, but what I would be curious to know is how much information she actually gave her husband, because I've definitely heard, and again, always on this channel, the examples I give are anecdotal at best, so take them with a grain of salt, but I've definitely heard of experiences of other people talking with their partner about these coaching investments, but leaving out a lot of key details so that their husband, boyfriend, spouse, whatever, is more likely to go along with it. So it's just kind of interesting to me because I really can't imagine from my own experience having my partner follow up with me being like,
wow, did you spend all our money in this coaching program?
Like he'd probably be crossing his fingers hoping that I don't sign up. But anyway, obviously I'm not in the relationship. I don't know anything. That's just me projecting my own experience. Now it says it's continued in the caption, so let's read. I had to sit with the discomfort of knowing that I was holding myself back and ask myself the question why. The entirety of my business and most of my life, I've been a very all-in person. I started my business and immediately joined a $7,000 mentorship program. I decided to move across the country and was there 2 months later. I started dating my husband and asked him to move in with me after 3 months. Heck, I've invested over $100,000 into my business over the last 3 years. Don't like that. So I sat there thinking, why does this feel so scary? And it hit me. In order to make this move, I had to recognize that I was playing small. I hate it already. During the first trimester days, I had many meltdowns contemplating what I wanted to do with this next phase of life. Did I want to get a clock in, clock out, get a paycheck job? Did I want to be a stay-at-home mom? These thoughts sat with me for a very long time, and I contemplated what the fate of my business was. Okay, just an observation here. For you to have the option of either quitting your business to get a job or quitting your business to be a stay-at-home mom, to me indicates that you're likely in a pretty good financial position, meaning that you either have a buttload of savings that are going to allow you to not have to go back to work, or your partner, husband, boyfriend, whoever he is, has a job that pays enough. Because I can't think of a world where I could get a job or I could stay home, and in either choice I'll be financially okay. Like, that doesn't make any sense if you have bills and responsibilities to pay for. But I don't know, what do you think in the comments? Am I being outrageous? But to me those seem like completely polar opposites.
Like, I could make $75,000 a year, or I could make zero, and I would be fine either way.
Sorry, pardon? Who's paying your bills? Oh, I digress. Once I came out of the fog, I realized this isn't what I want, and it's never been what I wanted. I'm going to blame the hormones for that one. So I sat down and had a conversation with myself as if I were a client coming to me with the same question, and asked myself what I wanted, what my vision was, and who I was going to be to get there. In that moment, I knew what the decision was. Yes, a million times yes. Since that moment of saying yes to myself and my business, I felt a rush of passion, energy, and fire that I haven't felt in a long time. I've had people reaching out to me in the DMs for information about mentorship and notifications of others joining my membership while I sleep. I feel ignited again. Whatever it is that feels like the biggest edge ever for you right now, ask yourself what you want and who you're choosing to be to get there. Trust yourself to make the move. You never know what's on the other side of that decision. I am so sick of listening to these stories. And it's frustrating for me because I see this so often in a lot of the content that I react to, but how so many of these people will say things like,
well, once I invested all this money, I magically got 50 new clients and people started signing up for my offers.
It's like, did that really happen? I would be skeptical to believe that you sign up for a mentor and then suddenly people are buying your offer. Maybe it did. I don't know. I'm not here to say this person is a liar. I'm just saying I tend to see this a lot, and it makes me very skeptical that it's actually happening. Now, beyond that, I will say, as someone who's been in business for almost 6 years now, it kind of raises questions for me when I hear people basically say that they've lost all the passion for their business, and it's not until they invest money in a mentor that they suddenly have this like newly ignited motivation to carry forward in their business. Because basically what that tells to me is you are relying on an external sense of motivation in order to want to pursue your business, grow your business, build your business. And if I'm constantly putting myself in this position where I need to invest in another mentor, buy into another membership, join a mastermind in order to find that motivation to keep going, chances are I'm working towards building a business that I either don't really like or just straight up don't want to be doing. But I'm basically gaslighting myself, convincing myself that if I buy this mentor, well, then that's where my motivation is going to come from. If you are a business owner, I'm not saying every day you're going to wake up and be like,
oh my God, I love my business. I want to work 24 hours today. Ooh.
No. There are absolutely days where I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I have to work today. But that being said, More often than not, I love the work I do. I love having the opportunity to work for myself. I love getting to experiment with different projects, create different forms of revenue. For me, that's the exciting part. But again, I find that motivation and that passion intrinsically within myself from the things that I'm interested in, the things that I love to do. I'm not out here trying to find a mentor who's gonna magically motivate me to want to take action to build my business. But I could definitely see that if I had built a business in an industry that I had no interest or personal investment in, I might need to hire someone to motivate me. Like when you have a job that you hate and you need your boss riding your ass in order for you to actually get the work done. So I don't know. I just think that that's kind of an interesting perspective to be like proud of and to be stating as if it's like super motivational to people, because when you really strip it down and think about it, it seems kind of suspicious in my opinion. Okay, let's move on to the next post. So this one is titled, How the Hell Does She Have a 7-Figure Brand and That Audience? So I saw this and was like, well, what is her audience? This particular woman has 136,000 followers on Instagram, which seems pretty legit. But when I go into her Instagram reels, she averages about 3,000 to 6,000 views per reel, which is not like significantly higher from the amount of engagement I get on Instagram with 4,000 followers. So in my opinion, it's kind of hard to say whether or not her followers are legit or not.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
But I digress. I've had this one question a lot. How did you do it? And occasionally I'll get the question of, did you actually make 7 figures? Because that's wild. I get it. It's a lot of money and exciting to think if she's just some girl from a small town who made it, maybe I can too. If we don't know each other yet, I'm blank, more commonly known as blank. Business mentor and podcast host. Aren't they all? I'm from a small town in Canada. I'm big on family, 90s country, mixed with a little M&M and shopping. If you come to our house, I'm gonna force you to stay for a cup of coffee. I recently moved from my bougie condo to my boyfriend's family farm, and even though that shocks people, I'm loving every minute of it. I'm also just gonna out myself here and say, even though it's not cool to like the Kardashians anymore, I do love watching them. LOL. And I'm a businesswoman who happens to make a lot of money. Okay, I'm guessing we're trying to go for relatable here. I'm not really sure what's happening. I share all of this not to brag. What were you even bragging about? I'm confused. All you talked about was moving to a farm and watching the Kardashians. It's actually wildly uncomfortable to talk about money online at times, but I want you to deeply know what's possible for you too. I struggled in the beginning. I was in massive amounts of debt. I had no clue how I was gonna make it come together, worried at times if maybe I had made a mistake and I should go back to the 9-to-5 world. If I could just make $10,000 a month, I'd have made it. That was the feeling I had. Instead, I jumped from $2,000 months to $20,000 months, and then $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 months after that. So what changed? These 3 important pieces. I invested in mentorship. Of course you did. I know it's cliche, but there's a reason every successful entrepreneur talks about this. You want to go quicker? Jump and take her advice. Second, social media. I invested in learning this skill. If anyone tells you it's all mindset work, run. I will agree with that. If anyone tells you it's all strategy, run. Bringing these 2 worlds together will make you beyond wealthy. Confused as to why the important piece is social media, but then instead of actually talking about how she used social media to build her 7-figure business, she's talking about mindset and strategy work. So that is just confusing to me. Number 3, money mindset. I clean this up over and over again. So why wouldn't we put the mindset strategy part there? Anyway, I'm being nitpicky, but it just weird. And now I help my clients do the same. Are you ready to go for it too? DM me ready, and just in case you're nervous to send the DM, I'm not one of those spammy people. That's so 2014. And then the caption reads, I know I get this question a lot and it comes with a slight side of WTF, but I'm telling you, we live in an age of the internet and we are so damn lucky for that. Businesses are about to pop like popcorn again online, might as well be you. Okay, I'm just like quickly scrolling through this again. I don't really get what the inspo is from here. Like obviously there's a call to action at the end. Like if you want this, message me. But as I say in all of my content, if I'm reading this as someone who's maybe new in business, wants to build this 7-figure business, is believing a lot of what these coaches are saying, if I'm reading this, like I think that this one was really poorly done in comparison to some of the other stuff we've reacted to on this channel. I don't read this and think like,
oh my God, this girl has the same story as me and now I'm going to buy her program because I feel like I am her and I can be her.
all she said was, was,
I made 7 figures and I live on a farm and I like the Kardashians.
I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here, but just like reading this, I feel like normally they take you on this whole rags to riches story. I was living in the streets, I was on food stamps, and I took my last $10 and I bought this online course, and then I went into credit card debt and I bought this other person's mentorship program and it changed my life. All she says is,
I was making $2,000, now I'm making 20, and now I'm making $7 million. It's great.
I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. If you're the person that sent me this, if you want to message me and give me a little bit more context, I'm just like, this post falls a little flat for me. I'm a little disappointed, honestly. Or I'm just losing my mind. Probably a little bit of both, let's be honest. Okay, last one. This one was actually from Threads, of all places, which if you're not following me on Threads, I'm pretty spicy over there, so you should come and join me. Now, I've cropped the bottom of the image because it links to this particular person's YouTube account, and we don't want to give these people any credit. So, as you can see by the title, it reads, how I work 4 hours a day and make $730,000 a month. That seems like a very specific number. So first of all, this person has a goal. It's to achieve true freedom. And the 4 W's of freedom are control what you work on, who you work with, where you work, whenever you want, okay? In order to achieve true freedom, I suppose, we need the 5 pillars of leverage. So pillar number 1 is deep work. 1 hour of deep work is better than 8 hours of shallow work. No phone, no distractions, focus on your zone of genius, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Wait, I thought he said 1 hour of work, but 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 4 hours. Brain FM. My zone of genius is writing, systems, and automation. 3 tools I use: Hemingway, Notion, Apple Notes. Create systems for sales, hiring, design, finance, product, creative, marketing, operations, tech, monetization, audience growth, newsletter. That's a lot of systems that you gotta be making in just 1 hour. I don't know if any of you watching this video have ever built a business, but part of being a business owner is wearing many hats, being the doer of all things, especially in the beginning. Like, you're your own web designer and marketer and email writer and so many things that are involved with building a business. So it's just kind of funny to me that he's like,
You gotta build systems for all of these things.
like, okay, there's no context though, I'm confused. Pillar number 2 is to build your founder flywheel. Small hinges swing big doors. Founder flywheel equals entrepreneurship multiplied. Personal brand is your business brand, is word of mouth, leads to customers, leads to referral flood, leads to category champion, leads to personal brand, leads to business brand. Okay, I feel like whoever wrote this just Googled business buzzwords and then put this whole graphic together utilizing all of those buzzwords that came up. Because it's like, if I were to read this, again, as someone who wants to build a business, I wouldn't have any idea what this guy is saying. Number 3, automate, eliminate, delegate. Time audit system. So you look at your task, the energy that it causes, and then what to do with that task. So if the task is to upload a video and you find that draining, you should delegate it to someone else. So it looks here that there's like 5 different tasks: video upload, travel plans, meetings, Notion projects, landing pages. All of those are draining except for the Notion project. So he's delegating them or getting rid of them. He's getting rid of meetings entirely. Must be nice. Again, not really giving any context, not really giving any information on how do I delegate, what does that look like, Notion project, automate, how am I gonna do that? Like, I don't know. I really don't like this mostly. I get it's a graphic, it's supposed to be like flashy and cool to spark people's interest, but to me, it's just lacking a lot of context, and therefore, I think the only draw is really the title, which is work 4 hours a day and make $730,000. Obviously, a lot of people might think, wow, that sounds really cool, I wanna learn how to do that. The rest of this is just buzzwords, platitudes that don't really mean anything. Anyway, we'll finish it out. So number 4 is to hire a chief of staff, the highest leverage of hire a founder can make. Give them 100% access, see around corners, highly organized, organize a sauna, your first line of defense, a 15-minute stand-up, protect your time, handle team project management. Again, a lot of words, not really saying anything clear in my opinion. Pillar number 5 is to apply the 80-20 system to everything. The most important thing is to keep the important thing, Albert Einstein. 80% of your sales come from 20% of clients. 80% of your health comes from 20% of habits. 80% of growth comes from 20% of hires. 80% of your joy comes from 20% of experiences. I feel like he took a different 80-20 statistic and then just decided to apply it to absolutely everything. So interesting approach. Not sure I agree with it. The lessons: be adaptable, reflect, learn, focus on needle moving strategies. Gone are the days working 12 hours on soul sucking work. Embrace time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. Put your business on autopilot. Remove yourself from operations, hit $5 million revenue per year, travel the world and make memories with your family, friends. Let's build your automated empire. Without any kind of context, none of what is shared, in my opinion, in this graphic is helpful. I'm so sick of seeing people talk about,
focus on your KPIs. Focus on the things that actually move the needle in your business. Stop wasting time doing stuff that's fun and focus on what actually makes money.
But then none of them actually tell you what are the things that make money? What are the KPIs that I should be focusing on? What are the tasks that I should be doing, the needle moving activities that will actually move the needle? No one wants to say that. They just want to say,
focus on needle moving activities, but I'm not going to explain to you what that means.
It's not helpful, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make here. But again, I think people will see the title of this document. Again, at the bottom, he had it linked to his YouTube channel. So then that's a way for him to get viewers, get more people into his funnel, and probably sell them on some product where he's going to promise that they'll learn how to make $5 million a year. In my opinion, very surface level information being shared here. Obviously, I understand this is a free Threads post, but as someone who creates a lot of content on the internet, my approach is always like, either provide educational content that's actually valuable to people or entertain them. This just like dangles a carrot, gives people the idea that they can get rich too, but doesn't actually give them anything that they can implement right away. So not my personal taste in the type of content that I like to create, but obviously we're all different. We're all welcome to post whatever we want. I just don't want people seeing this and thinking, oh my God, I can make an automated business where I don't have to work and I can make $5 million because this guy on the internet said I could. I don't like it, not a fan, but we'll just leave it at that for today. All right, friends, that's it for today's video. Again, if you have content that you want to submit to this channel for me to react to, the reaction submission form is linked in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Take care, comb your hair, and I'm gonna leave you on screen here with a little bit of a conversation about whether or not people like me who make commentary content on the internet are just jealous haters. That's it for today. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!